all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. I'm going to stop there just for a second. We heard this scriptures time and time again. We looked into it. We preached on it. I preached on it several times about different things. But I want us to remember that, sometimes we don't look back where God brought us from to where we are now. We're too busy stuck in our own little dilemma for a moment. And all we can see is all the turmoil and chaos. But here is Joshua and Caleb. They went over with the spies and to the report for Moses. And this is what they brought back. And he showed them the fruit of the land. Verse 27, and they told him and said, we come unto the land whither thou sentest, and surely it floweth with milk and honey. And this is the fruit of it. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. And the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. Now you would have thought that would have been good enough right there, right? That they come back with this report. And they show them the things thereof. That, okay, this is what God has told us we're going to do. We're going to be able to go in and possess what He told us that we could possess, right? How many times has God told us that whenever we get this good report and we're looking at a situation and we go, well, God, look here, I'm not quite sure about that. But God says, go and proclaim it. Go and take it. It's yours to take. I've already won this for you. I love what Brother David said on Wednesday night is whenever he said, look, I went to the doctors. God has already gave me the report that He wanted me to have. I went to the doctors and the doctor said, look, I don't see anything wrong. I don't know why you're even here. I don't even know why you're here. And David, he's like, okay, I could have told you that from the start. But you see, sometimes we need to remember what God can and always has done. You see, the children of Israel have been brought out of bondage. They were put in bondage. They were brought out of bondage, and they murmured the whole time. They're never satisfied. It seemed like God would bring them out of different things, and then they would go, okay, we're good for about a moment. It's kind of like one of our spoiled children. Hello. They're never satisfied with anything just for a moment there. I'm dealing with a 15-year-old at times, and she's good right there for a moment. And then it's like, oh, everything's a disaster. I said, God, I don't miss them years. I'm so grateful that we got ours out of that. But can I tell you that time and time again, the enemy wants you to remember the bad things versus what God has already done. So let's go on. Let's get into the negativity of this thing, all right? I know that's what y'all been waiting for. Hello. Verse 31. But the men that went up with him said, but we be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. They that brought up an evil report of the land, which had searched the children of Israel, saying, the land, though we have gone in to search it, is the land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof. And all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. And they saw the giants, the son of Anak, which come from the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. Isn't that just like something that goes on? I'm gonna get into church's business today. Hello. Not this one. I'm just telling you. No, we ain't gonna do that. But in the church as a whole here. when God is doing something good, the enemy is in the church also. Come on. I don't want y'all to be deceived about anything. The devil can go to church too. Hello. If he went to the throne of God, he can go in your church. I'm telling you, Pastor, he can. But just when God is getting ready to do something, the enemy kicks off a little something in someone else that causes a little bitterness, and then all of a sudden seems like the whole water wants to become bitter. Hello? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, God is trying to do a move here, and yet we're still trying to fight a move over here. Hello? It's time that we have remembered that it's not our battle, but it's the Lord's. We don't need to fight that battle. It's already done. We need to stand in victory and proclaim healing and deliverances and victory and wealth in this moment here. We're at a time in our life, in our nation today, that we should be able to stand up and say, I don't care what the government says. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care what's going on over here. I don't care about the gas prices. I don't care about the food prices, because God is my provider. He makes the provision for me. He told me so, and I believe it without a shadow of a doubt that He's going to take care of all of my needs. Why do I want to fight that battle when it's not mine? Because sometimes we try to take a spiritual battle and turn it into a physical battle. Hello. Oh, yeah, we do. And this is what the Israelites were doing at this moment. God had promised them the land over here if they would just walk in there and take it. But no, the enemy says, oh, no, you can't do that because they're too big, they're too strong, they're too this, they're too that. Well, can I tell you, I'm too much for the enemy to handle. Hello. Come on. When are we going to get that attitude about us that says, hey, look, greater is He that is in me than he that is in this world? When are we going to get that attitude that says, look, I can walk in victory, even though it may be a storm on the horizon, I know God is going to bring me through it. Even though I know that there's tough things ahead, there's things that are going to be happening ahead, it doesn't matter. God is still good, and He's going to bring me through it. I come to possess the victory that God has already given me, not the problems that the enemy wants to serve me with. Hello. But here we go. Somebody stirred up the congregation. Wow. Imagine that. And chapter 14, let's dig on this one. And it says, and all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night. They sat there and they worried and they cried and they carried on. They ulcered up. Hello? Can somebody feel me today? Whenever everything, God's trying to do something good, and the enemy musters up some little seed over here, it seems like everybody wants to draw to that negative part versus the good part. Why do you think so many commercial people do the things that they do? Because they know that something bad draws their attention more than something good does. Somebody wants to see, how many of y'all have ever went down the road and you saw a wreck on the side of the road? Yeah. How many of y'all rubbernecked that thing all the way through? Come on. It's like, oh. And then they slow down to about 3 miles an hour. Like you're going to be able to do something anyway. And you slow down, and then you slow all this other traffic up back here. I kid you not. I was on I-40 one day, and I was going south towards Memphis there. And I got close to Dixon, and it just stopped. I'm like, what in the world? So I was in my patrol car, and I was like, hey, I was seeing if there was an accident or something. Yeah, there was. It was 8 miles up on the opposite side of the road. True story. I'm telling you. Everybody else on this side had to slow down to 3 miles an hour just to see somebody else's dilemma. I'm like, Lord, have mercy. If that ain't the Christian world today, we will slow down to see somebody else's misfortune, but what are we going to do about it? Do we get out? Do we help? No. We cruise on, we go, Lord, I hope nobody was hurt. Touch them, dear Jesus. No. We need to remember where our battles are. And then all of a sudden, chapter 14, and the children of Israel murmured against Moses, imagine that, and against Aaron, and the whole congregation said to them, would God that we have died in the land of Egypt, or would God have had died in the wilderness? See, they've already went back to captivity. They've already went back to where they used to be. Ain't that what happens whenever we're going along here and God is doing something in our lives and we're changing things around? The enemy starts stirring up that old memory pot. And one little thing happens. Your boss gets mad at you. Your friend gets mad at you. You get unfriended on Facebook. Please do that to me. I don't care. Hello. But something goes wrong along the way, and then all of a sudden, in the back of your mind, the enemy's stirring it up and says, well, I told you. I told you he would leave you. I told you he would let you go. I told you he'd let you hang you out to dry. He only had you just for a moment. He just pacified you a little bit. But hey, buddy, you're right back where you started from. Isn't it time that we remind the enemy we're not back where we started from? Because the Word says that we are more than conquerors through Christ Jesus, which strengthens us. So if I'm going to be strengthened, if I'm going to be made whole, if I'm going to be free the way He told me I am, I need to set the record straight, not only for myself, but for the enemy also that says, look, I'm not starting over where I used to be. I'm a lot better off than I ever have been, but I know I'm going to be better than you ever thought I would be. Hello. The whole people just aggravated Moses and Aaron, murmured against them. Imagine that. How many of y'all got kids in here? Yeah. And then how many of y'all's kids ever go, man, I think these people lost their rocker. They're old. What do they know? It's a bunch of old people. You all don't understand because you're old. I've had my daughters tell me, Dad, you don't understand because you're old. Girl, I was young once. Hello. I didn't start out this way. I wasn't far from it, but I didn't start off this way. But can I tell you that we need to remind the enemy that no matter if he comes in our camp or someone else's camp, he has no business there. This battle is not a physical battle. It's a spiritual battle that we are in. Our school system is the way it is because of a spiritual battle. Our society today is the way it is because of a spiritual battle. It's because we failed to fight the enemy the way we should be fighting him. We've made it out to be a physical thing. We think we could go to a poll and select somebody and put them in office and make it happen the way. No, this is not the way it has been designed. Our battle is not physical, but it's spiritual. And until we come to realization that we are fighting a spiritual battle that is in our camp, we're still going to continue to try to fight it as a physical part when it's not. It's a spiritual battle. Joshua and Caleb tried to tell them this. Flip over with me. Let's look at verse 9. And this is Caleb and Joshua speaking on their behalf. It says, only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the Lord of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defiance is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not. But the whole congregation made stone them with stones, and the glory of the Lord appeared at the tabernacle of the congregation before the children of Israel. Dad came home. Hello. You remember whenever you was a kid and you was wrestling around? Maybe you didn't, but I did. I remember I was a kid and Mom and them tell us to go to bed, and my younger brother and I, we used to watch wrestling a lot. And so when the lights go out, wrestling match, right? You go to sleep later. I mean, you got plenty of time to sleep. So we would get in there, and boy, we would just go at it. We'd be body slamming each other and all this stuff. And yeah, it was full on, I'm telling you. And Mom say, y'all better cut it out, go to sleep. I'm like, all right, we got 2 more to go. We knew it. After she got to that third one, boy, all right, that's it. They'd open that door up, we'd be like, boom. Wouldn't even keep me. You wouldn't even blink an eye out there, because you know if you made eye contact, that was it. You were done. And you'd be laying there like, I know y'all ain't asleep. So the next time your dad's coming in here, we go like, all right, we got 2 more to go, fellas. We had it timed out, I'm telling you. So we knew how far to push that, but whenever Dad opened that door up, it was over then. It didn't matter. You could play like you was asleep or not. You wasn't going to be asleep when he got done. I'm just telling you, okay? But here's Moses and Aaron. They have thousands of people that they're responsible for. That God has gave them the privilege of going, okay, look, I'm going to let y'all lead them out of this bondage that they're in. I'm going to use you guys. Here we go. And time after again, God continued to supply their need. God continued to help them out of their problems. Hello? Get low this. Even the shoes grew with their feet. Imagine that. They didn't have to worry about food, but yet what did they do? They complained. Oh, can we have something else? Oh, Lord. Just never satisfied. But can I remind us today that we serve a God that loves us continuously? But I want us to look at that verse there that says that whenever they said those things, God's presence entered the realm. God had already had enough. Enough is enough. And so, God says this. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me? For the signs which I have showed among them. I bet you right now, God is sitting up there on his throne going, man, repeat. Repeat. How much more do we need to know that we serve a God that can do all things? How much more do we need to recognize the signs and the things that he has done in our lives? That he has brought each and every one of us through it. Time and time and time again. The revivals that we've had, Azusa Street, Brownsville, those are just very tips of the iceberg that could really happen in our nation right now if we would just let God be God. If we would just recognize his power and his authority, if we would just continuously remind ourselves that we can take this back, and because God has said this is who we are. We could have a revival that could outdo everything. I believe it could be so grand that it would be almost as good as the homecoming. Hello? We could see lives change. We can see souls. No, because you see, we become self-centered in this part of the realm that we're in that we go, well, at least they're not bothering me. At least they're not here. Oh, I've tried praying for them people, but they just don't listen. Look, it's not about them listening. It's about you continuing to pray. It's not about them believing, but it's about your beliefs. Hello? It's not about how much they're going to change their mind and hearts. It's about how much you're going to pray for God to change yours. Because, see, it starts with us. If we're not in the realm, how can we expect anybody else to be in the realm? You see, but here's the thing. This is what God impressed in me this week, is that to realize that I am not fighting a physical battle. I'm fighting a spiritual battle. I was tired. I was weak. I was weary. I was fighting through things, but I shouldn't have been fighting through them if I'd have just fought the battle the way I was supposed to. I would have had a lot better week. Hello? I was like those children of Israel going, Lord, how much more can we take? Lord, how much further do we have to go? God, are we there yet? God, are we done yet? God, why can't we just go back to wait? God, what? No. I should have fought my battle the way God designed me to fight it. It's not physical, it's spiritual. Moses, when God spoke those words to Moses, y'all can look this up. But Moses went before the Lord on the people who murmured against him. How many of us would have done that? I'm going to tell you right now, there have been a time in my life I've been like, Lord, yeah, just go ahead. We don't need them anyway. Hello? But Moses went to battle in a spiritual realm on behalf of the ones who were murmuring, the ones who wanted to stone him, the ones who wanted to cast him out, the ones who wanted to get a new leader. Hello? Moses went to battle on their behalf. I honestly believe, this is my belief, I believe that's why the churches today are so weak, is that we fail to battle the way we need to battle. It's so easy just to say, well, I hope y'all get well. I hope this is happening. Well, at least we're not having this. We don't have that. Church, where did we go wrong? We went wrong when we decided that people are not worth the battle. Everybody on this planet is worth the battle. I don't care what jail they're in. I don't care what prison they're in. I don't care if they have a turban on their head. I don't care what skin color they are. I don't care what they drive. I don't care where they work. Everybody on this planet is worth the battle. Because the Word says that we were created in His image. We are all children of the Most High God. And we need to get back to the battle at hand and watch our churches grow again. Watch our civilization turn around. For all God wants is His glory to be shown. All God wants and desires is for His glory to be shown. Yes, we do things around here for picnics and we do it for Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. But can I tell you, we need to get back about the Father's business even more so, because there is a lost and dying world out there that is going straight to hell if we do not intercede somewhere along the way and say, God, I want to fight this battle for your children, because God, everybody here is worth it. Everybody is worth it. Hello? I had a friend of mine one time tell me, he said, but you know, people are just so full of sin that you can't do anything about it. I said, well, I can't, but God can. It's not my battle. It's not my deal. I can't take anybody's sin away. I can't heal anybody. I can't deliver anybody, but I know a God that I serve that can. God despises the sin, but He loves the sinner. Hello. That's why He went to Calvary on our behalf. That's why He was willing to give the ultimate price, that price that causes us to be free and free indeed, that causes us to walk in victory. God Himself gave that for us. We need to remember that the battle is not ours. The battle is not ours. But when we go into battle, we need to go in it in the right way. We don't need to look at it as a physical situation, but we need to recognize that it is a spiritual, demonic situation that is coming upon our lives. You see, Wednesday night, we were talking about the gifts of the Spirit and talking about casting out demons and things like that. I believe that our society today looks at it more as a Hollywood experience versus than a spiritual reality. They've watched too many of these shows that those phenomenal things. But can I tell you, there is a spiritual warfare going on all around us right here and right now. Even in these seats that we're sitting in. God has sent the angels to battle on our behalf. Why? Because He loves us. Because He wants us to recognize that we need to enter into this battle. And we got to do it the right way. We can't do it playing patty cake. We can't do it just giving out handy meals. We can't do it just buying somebody's gas and groceries every once in a while. This is how we should fight our battles. On our knees before God. Saying, God, I know there's more to it than this. But God, I'm going to fight this battle the right way. I'm going to do it your way, Lord. I want to have you, if you would, just stand with me for just a moment. Job knew how to fight those battles. Mordecai knew how to fight those battles. They would rent their clothes and they would get alone with God. They didn't have no distractions. They didn't have the TV on playing in the background. They didn't look at that little phone every 15 seconds. If we're serious about wanting to fight the battles, we need to learn how to get along with God. Get rid of the distractions. We always use those excuses. Well, somebody may need to get a hold of me. Well, there's nothing you can do about it anyway. If we're fighting those battles, God is already on the scene. When Moses was at the bottom of the mountain and he went up there to the Lord, And the children of Israel did what they did. Moses interceded on the children's behalf. At this moment here, Moses interceded on the children's behalf. When they were at the Red Sea, Moses interceded on the children of Israel's behalf. When is the last time we interceded on someone's behalf? When's the last time that we said, devil, you can't have them anymore. I'm going to pray. I'm going to fast. I'm going to believe. Whatever it takes, you're going to loose them. Verse 13, and Moses said unto the Lord, then the Egyptians shall hear it, for thou broughtest us people out in thy might from among them. And they will tell it to the inhabitants of the land, for they have heard that thou, Lord, art among his people. And the Lord are seen face to face, that thy cloud standeth over them, and thou goest before them by daytime, and a pillar of cloud, and a pillar of fire by night. Now if thou shalt kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of these will speak, saying, because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he swore unto them, therefore he slain them in the wilderness. Now I beseech thee, let the power of my Lord be great according to thou hast spoken. The Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children of the third and the fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech thee, the iniquity of this people according unto the greatness and the mercy as thou hast forgiven this people from Egypt even until now. When is the last time we said, Lord, pardon your people? I know they have strayed. I know that it's a whirlwind of a mess. But God, let your glory reign. Let your pardons fall upon your people today. Set the captive free once again, Lord. Let your mercy abide in us, oh God. Let your mercy abide on your people. Because this, God, this, Lord, we want your glory to shine. Pardon your people. This morning, I'm going to ask you. You can stay where you are. You can come to these altars. But I know that you know somebody, whether it's friend or whether it's foe, you know somebody that needs to be pardoned. Someone needs a pardon today. How are we going to fight these battles? Let us fight them together.